Happy Wednesday. You're watching Chillmonger. I've been very much covering the Jonathan Majors assault trial. This is day one of it. It began earlier today where Jonathan Majors, well, that woman over there is the attorney Priya Chaudhry. She is seen with those legs. Those were Megan Goods coming out of the car. And Jonathan, all the way back there. They arrived earlier this morning, all three of them. Look at them, all happy. Did you hear what that one guy said? He said, "Good luck," and he was like, "Thank you." Rewind that. You could barely hear it, but he said, "Good luck," and Jonathan goes back and says, "Thank you." This whole entire case, I have to always start with saying, we're here because he dialed 911 to get this woman help. And the cops there decided, no, you're the one who lacerated her ear, fractured a finger. It was all your fault. Well, she's then she's been coerced by the police. The district attorney is playing ball with what the police said. They just want to throw everything at the case. The district attorney finally got this woman, because initially she was like, no, he didn't do anything to me. But then finally got this woman to join the side of the lie. She's saying that he did all of this to me at midnight. Except we can see at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., she's perfectly fine dancing at the club. She's sending him texts with not a single mention of the injuries on her, and it's just a complete lie. This is a woman problem, or like this woman herself, Stephanie. It's Stephanie's problem, as well as a systemic issue, because the district attorney is who the district attorney is. The next thing I'm going to share with you, just to wise people up to what the DA is all about, is a video that I saw on Roland Martin's interview. He interviewed the attorney, Priya Chaudhry. It was the video that's called Alarming Twist. Do you see it shared? Let's go to this portion.
This was utter garbage from the start. So
I should preference what she's speaking about right now is the DA for another case, because she cannot speak about the current Jonathan Majors case. This interview wasn't today. It might have been yesterday, the day before. So look, the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, has a reputation. He once prosecuted a former client of Priya Chaudhry. She's representing Jonathan now, but she was representing this other client. This other client was wrongfully accused, and there was video, or rather there was text messages from the woman who was accusing him talking about how it was a beautiful time and it was consensual. She loved it. She spent many texts after saying, hey, why don't we get back together? Let's be, I'm still want you. And then after 3 years, accused the man of the word that begins with R. She accused the man of rape. The man is a prosecutor himself, which is ironic, as Priya Chaudhry will tell you. Let me just shut up and let's watch Priya Chaudhry speak. Play.
Question is, how do they do it? They've just changed their tact in that office. They are just pushing this agenda of a victims' right advocate group, which is not what a prosecutor is. A prosecutor has the ability to put people in jail and to ruin their lives just by accusing them. They should not be having an appetite to bring cases that are against the evidence.
So I think this is very important to the current case because it's the same DA, the same office. So when she's saying to you guys, is she's revealing a pattern.
Not supported by evidence, and simply an agenda that has a political motive that helps the DA get elected again. And that's
what she's talking about is when you hear an accusation or just the thought of a man did something wrong to a woman, that's the political agenda. And this DA rolls with it. He's trying to serve, according to Priya Chaudhry, her estimation is that it's for votes or it's for gaining favor and not in favor of justice.
They're doing. And this particular prosecutor, when I asked her, how do you reconcile all of this? She said, I know this is a difficult case to win. No case should be brought by any prosecutor if that prosecutor thinks it's a difficult case to win, because what that basically means is I don't think I have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. And in this case,
this is a criminal case, that the one she's talking about, and the one that's happening now that's relevant to all of us, Jonathan Majors. You need to have beyond a reasonable doubt. Why are you pursuing A 50-50 or even less than that. I don't know if I could win or not.
Case, the evidence was beyond a reasonable doubt that this woman was lying. And they never pursued her. They let her go.
What? They never pursued her? You mean no? There was no accountability for the lies and the actions that she did? Like, shouldn't there be a law that exists by now that if you accuse somebody and you're proven to be wrong, then you get the exact same punishment?
Go ahead and lie in the grand jury. They let her lie on the stand. They just took a gamble, said, okay, well, let's see what happens. And if Adam Foss gets acquitted, then no harm, no foul. But that's just not true. The man's life is utterly destroyed. He's canceled. He's,
Okay, he's canceled. Well, I mean, look at Jonathan Majors and what's happening over on his side. He's canceled, isn't he? Free Jonathan, 100%. Let's look at it. Look at it logically, everybody. It's the same rules. It's the same court. It's the same attorney, funny enough. And it's being able to continue. The Jonathan Majors case is that case that she's talking about that happened in 2020. And just recently, in January, they tried to make some sort of deal with him or cut a deal with Adam Foss. Not Jonathan Majors, but the other guy, where the conditions were unreasonable, like crazy, like you can't ever admit that you were innocent. It was one of those weird things. Anyways, the district attorney is now being sued by the very prosecutor, the black man. Everyone's black in this scenario. The black man that he tried to bring and charge and prosecute. That's the word. Try to get him on a guilty. That guy is now saying, no, you know what, DA, I'm trying to countersue you. I'm focused on you. Let's get you out of office. It's systemic, everybody. Day one at the trial today, I think there were 40 candidates who were to be the jury. The jury are not allowed to go on Google or FaceTime or do any sort of internet thing with their phone. The jury was told you can't even go on Twitter or X, as they call it, as he joked. Going on, Pam?
Let me see, because I
hear you.
Not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Huh.
Figure it out.
Figure out my sound. I can't hear.
Hey, man, I hope you're doing well today. I'm happy about the update we got earlier with leaving all of that trash out of the trial. We don't even know what exactly has been left out. So while I was talking about the jury are being selected. We're going to have to pick. Now, in that other case with Adam Foss, that Priya Chaudhry was doing an interview with Roland Martin. That's the YouTube channel I was watching was Roland Martin. In that interview, I just noticed your tee. It says recast T'Challa, huh? Absolutely. She can't hear me still, but she's wearing the most fire tee.
Are you looking at my shirt?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know why I can't hear.
Maybe leave and then come back.
Okay.
She knew what I meant. Pam Entertainment TV is also covering the case. So back to the jury. Yeah, they can't do anything. But let's be real. I remember Amber Heard complaining about this. Like, it's 2022. Everyone's going to check their TikToks and their phone and stuff. And that's kind of true. Let's be real with it. Like, the jury is not going to have it's not going to be fair, unfortunately, unless they're sequestered. But like, it's a misdemeanor case, and you're not going to spend all that money just to get a fair trial, just to get these guys in hotels that are without internet and stuff like that. That's just too much. And I don't think it hurts Jonathan too much if they explore. Like, if they're going to go on YouTube and look at videos, then the videos of that woman who's perfectly fine and okay, it's going to speak volumes. If they want to go and see variety articles, if the jury are going to be looking at some of that closed-minded narrative, hit piece, expose portion of the internet, then that's not so good for Jonathan Majors. It's not. So then what Cole mentioned in the comments right now was about, I'm happy about the update we got earlier, leaving all that trash out of the trial. Still undecided. On Thursday, we'll get an answer to whether or not some of the things that are hidden will be able to be revealed. So for the beginning portion of this entire trial today, there was no media, there was no any, they were like, it was all themselves. It's unknown whether or not Pam is entering the building. I hope you can hear me now.
I can hear you.
So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
unknown whether or not they will honor that motion to keep things private. What will be under sealed, like Pam was saying in her video earlier, you were talking about it could be about his kids or his family, something that's sensitive to his health, something private. You know where I took it? I took it to like, maybe he's on the side, he's gun trafficking, and that's going to interfere with the FBI. Maybe there's a lot of things that it could be.
It has it. Like I said, it could be way up here. Like I said, it could be like there could have been some other incidents or something like that, or it could just be sensitive because you remember Chaudhry when they did their 23-page when they tried to get the case dismissed. They talked about that there were warrants on his apartment or his penthouse, and they didn't know all the stuff that they took out of that penthouse.
Hmm.
There was like two or three warrants or something, and they were asking about what was all the stuff that they took out of there. Because you remember he wasn't there, she was there. So I'm curious to know if it could it be something in that house that, like you said, that they don't want to be seen, his address, because he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
We know the whereabouts of where he lived, but we don't know the ins and outs of where he lives. Is it something sensitive to that? What did they take out of that place that's sensitive that they don't want to see? Or is it something that could be just prejudicial? If anybody has lived life, you could have had any kind of incident to happen,
Yeah.
and it could be something as simple that they may have found a friend that he fell out with 20 years ago. And it could be something like that. And that is prejudicial to the jury if you're trying to say, oh, well, he fell out with his friend and they were fighting. So therefore, he fights with everybody that he fights with.
Right. So this still image that they released would suggest, because it's only a still image they released, it would suggest that there's something in that home on the other side of that wall. There's 3 other walls we don't see right now that is private.
Mhm.
Because if there's a video of the cops coercing the woman to say that there was a strangle, or if there's a cops, you can hear them mouthing and saying to themselves, "I can't believe he lives here," to
Mhm.
paint the picture that this is a racially motivated aggression against him. They would have released that, but all we ever got released from Jonathan Major's side was this screenshot. I guess they wanted to prove that her neck was fine. As you guys can see, I'll put it back up. Her neck is fine. But I think there's something to what you were saying, just about something needs to be kept private in that house. He may have a Hey Arnold shrine the way Olga had in the closet. Was it Hey Arnold? Oh, I'm mixing up my Nickelodeon shows. It wasn't that show. It was another show. Oh, shoot.
I think it was Hey Arnold. I think
Was
it was.
Okay.
I think it was.
He may have, so he may be down with the devil. He may be like, I don't know. There's a lot of secrets that you don't want in your home. Guys, I shoot on my home and I never let you guys know what's on the left, right, up, down. All you see is stars. And I ask for people to respect that. And so it's very understandable to me. And I'm not a celebrity either. I'm just
Right.
a guy, right?
Right. Like I said, it could be as simple as that, or it could be, it could be anything. Because when Jonathan Majors has talked about in several interviews that he's had that he had some issues like with his stepfather and all these little different things, and growing up in school, and he felt like the world was stacked up against him and all this other stuff. So I don't know exactly what it could be, but things like that. And this is just me talking, things like that. If we live life, no one lives life perfect. There's a lot of folks that live life and we don't get into any incidents or anything like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about incidents that happened 10, 15 years ago in the heat of the moment, and both parties were doing and there was no police report, that's kind of insidious to me. And
If you ask
it's
me, you shouldn't even go back 11 hours. It happened at 11 in the morning, and that's why the cops arrested him, right? That was it. They
Mhm.
said, "Oh, okay, we see the condition she's in. We got you." If that's what he was arrested for, don't go back to, well, you see, prior to this day, this morning here, yesterday night, it was all. And don't give me that, well, it's still March 25th. Technically, it's the same day on the calendar. It was a day ago, okay? People went
Yeah.
to sleep. People woke back up. It was a whole nother day. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, they're going by what she put out. Again, one of the things, if we talk about this case, when I go back and look at it, uh, one of the things I felt like harmed him is him always appearing virtually. He should have been in the courtroom, because when he appeared virtually on May 9th, she was there and his court appearance was at 10. In all actuality, that case would have been dropped. When you think about the charges starting from the initial charges, starting from when the police made their statements about, this and all this other stuff,
Mhm.
walking into May 9th, all those charges would have been dropped. But he appeared virtually. She came in at 9:30. His hearing started at 10, and that's when she did this affidavit on the May 9th date. And I think that those things hurt him. Had he showed up in court that day and not said, "Oh, I'm just going to be here virtually," I, just me.
No,
I don't.
the fix was
I
in.
don't. Yeah, it was done. It would have been done. It would have been over,
I,
and
I
that was
just
it.
No, I'm disagreeing with you. I'm saying the fix was in. The judge was
Hmm.
always going to hear out the DA because they are a team, whether people admit it or not. Even if they are different branches, they are a team. What's going on, Big Bro? Um, so I don't think that. I'm looking at what happened with the Adam Foss case, which I didn't even know about until about a month ago when
Hmm.
the Shade Room posted it, right? And I saw Dre covering it. I didn't even know that this Adam Foss guy had a very similar case to Jonathan Majors and all that. Another thing where I disagree with, no, the jury was just selected today. So
Hmm.
how does this hurt anything? To like the people who matter most are the 12 human. Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm just saying that when I look back at the time that when there was these virtual appearance where he appeared virtually, and this is just my opinion. Had he walked into that courtroom on May the 9th and walked in there on that courtroom, I don't think that the district attorney then would have had enough time or whatever to be fiddling it out, her writing her little affidavit, because it look if you read it and look at it, it looked like it was pre-written. But that's just me.
So on May 9th, she was there. Me and She Dreads Me, we had a dispute about this.
There is an affidavit, and I do have it. It
But does that mean she was there?
it was when that affidavit was signed, it had to be signed and it was sworn, and she signed it at 9:30 a.m. on May the 9th.
Woo! So here we go. She takes his items, flies off to jolly old England, right? And she re-arrives on May 9th just to be here for the court date. And then sometime between, I think the second court date was in June, sometime after that, Jonathan goes
Mhm.
over to the police precinct, and then he goes to a second police precinct, and both of them say, we got probable cause to arrest her. And the DA deactivated that incident card. And I think that's when she scurried off. My theory may be true that she was in New York the whole time, and then, you gotta go to London, and she just took the first plane out to England. She probably took a plane to Canada first, and she was here for a little bit just because it was like that was the quickest flight available, the quickest way to get out of the country, and then boom, she goes over to England.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can find my file that I have for him. I'll show
Law
it to you.
order told me if he marries her, she can't testify. Back to the jury, and you can find that, and we'll put it up when you find it. The jury right now are really important to me. In the Adam Foss case, as I was looking at that interview with the beautiful Priya Chaudhry when she was giving us her account on what happened with the Adam Foss case, the DA
Mhm.
was trying to keep black men from being able to be part of that jury. Like if you asked them a question and one of them said, "I'm aware of the history of white women accusing black men." Nope, can't do that. You know too much. You're not eligible to be part of this jury. There's gonna be the most one-sided jury trying to be found. Even though in the Adam Foss case, that jury that they decided on and finally got to after the case, they were like, "Bro, how do we help you, Adam?" They were calling them up that next weekend saying, "How could we get you back to doing your social justice work?" Because again, they prosecuted a prosecutor. And if you listen to Adam Foss talk, listen
Mhm.
to his TEDx. I've watched him on 2 videos. I already love this man. He's doing such great work. He's very solution oriented. He's life changing, positive.
Yeah,
He's
he
everything. He's everything.
let's see. I have to find that. I thought I had everything in
I know
one
I'm
big.
like that too. If anyone has something to ask us in the live chat, we're not going to stay for long. We might be here. We'll be here definitely less than 1 hour because I'm going to be doing these daily. I'm going to run out of things to talk about. So let's keep them an hour, which is still a pretty long time. And let's go. William says, I told them that I couldn't believe that YouTube. I told them that I couldn't believe that white woman, and they told me I have to leave the courthouse immediately. Oh, it was you. You were the one, William. New Yorkers. Everybody look out during this next election because the district attorney is voted on. Alvin Bragg is a man in disguise. He's trash, terrible. On this day
He
one,
he is spending a lot of time trying to make a political name for himself in regards to this Trump case and anything like that. So honestly and truly, he's not giving much oversight to his office because it sounds like they are running amok,
muck.
if I could say that.
You can say
They're
it. It's
just
evolution of Grimer. It's poison. A muck.
yeah, it's in I will find it because I have a copy of it and I don't know if it's in the like I said, it's so much stuff running around here with this Jonathan Majors and stuff. It's 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 it's
It's
a
cool.
lot.
I want to show another clip from earlier in the interview that I have timestamped at 13:42
Okay.
as an ad plays.
This
Let's silence that ad. I'm sorry. I would give you your money, but that's a 3-minute and 20-second ad.
impact. And I mean, this is the irony of all of it. The goal and purpose of his nonprofit
She's talking
was
about Adam Foss's nonprofit.
Okay.
train prosecutors' offices around the country
Right.
in implicit bias. Because as we know, the criminal justice system basically picked up where slavery left off, and the entire system is
Stay
infected
woke.
with such deep bias, some of which is open, some of which is implicit. And as a prosecutor, he understood that prosecutors are making bad decisions, not understanding what they're doing, not knowing really how to evaluate a case. And this very office, Manhattan DA's office under Cy Vance, invited him and had him give a training to their office to teach them.
Give me a break. Of all of the low down dirty, he was a person that they reached out to. Hey, here's some training. Here's how you can combat that implicit bias. We can make the world better. And the prosecutor was being given a lesson by the guy they prosecuted against. That is an amazing story. It's mind flipping.
That's horrible. That's just horrible. That is just horrible.
Derek is
Horrible.
asking how long. You said what, 5 days?
The trial?
Yeah.
They said 6.
Okay, 6 days.
They've got 6, and they said they had like 14 witnesses, which I thought they had more. Because what's that? The 3 or 4 people that were out on the street, 2 or 3 police officers, and the expert, maybe the doctor, a few of her
Ex-girlfriend?
friends, yeah. I thought they would have had more, but it doesn't look like they have that many people that for 6 days.
Yeah, the bartender is another one.
Yeah.
The handyman who had the keys to get into that closet is a witness. The driver is the most important witness that's there, and yeah, maybe the doctor and the driver, but who knows? Because the doctor is going to be able to say these injuries are consistent and commonly found against a person who just hurt themselves, because the angle of which the finger that she fell on could have only been done by herself, or likely it was done by herself.
And that's the thing that gets me is it's that there was at least, you're looking at what, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock in the morning. He was nowhere around her, and they have proof that he was nowhere around her. But there is 3 different videos showing 3 different time periods with 2 of those videos showing that he was nowhere near around her, and she was digiting. She was using her hands. And then at 11 o'clock in the morning, she has these injuries, and no one thinks that she may have fallen and hurt herself in the apartment when she was building her shrines and all kinds of stuff like that, and tripping down some stairs or anything. No one thought that was an issue. She didn't know what happened to her. That was clearly an issue. She didn't know what happened to her that morning. She made 19 vocalizations that she didn't know what happened. What happened to my finger? What
Yeah,
happened to
they
my
asked
finger?
her 19 times. She says, I don't know, 19 times.
And so I don't know why it's a stretch. People think, oh, well, no, there was at least 12 hours. Listen, I could tumble down my stairs in 5 minutes. You mean to tell me in 12 hours, someone who before the incident, and again, do not mishear me or say that I am victim blaming. I'm only giving you the information that was given to me
Yeah.
in this information. This is someone who had 6 drinks when they left the bar. Then you went to a nightclub and had a bottle of champagne plus shots. You and then you make it home, and on top of those shots, 6 drinks, shot, champagne, you take sleeping pills. And
What is he supposed to do? Those are the only 3 numbers he's supposed to call after that scenario plays out the way that plays out.
if my significant other, even though you and I have just summarily quit you, and I come home and you are passed out in the comment closet and there's vomit on the bed and stuff strewn everywhere. There's this big old shrine to our memory sitting someplace else and in the front. And then I come in and see you in the closet. 911 is the first thing I'm gonna call because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And good thing he had somebody that was there, because had he stumbled upon her by himself, well, even if he didn't, you see what happened.
Because we see what's happening. But he's got the text messages to support of how he made a breakup text, and she's been like 30 times she's texting trying to get back with him. And it shows, and it just reeks of, once she realized that Jonathan Majors' money train has left the station, then she's like, okay, well, let me get my last score out of him. And if she didn't, nothing would have come back to her. Even if she would have left with his things and then returned his things, he wouldn't have pursued her. He, like this scenario here,
Grace?
Hi, Grace.
where she was coming out the 10th precinct after she got her misdemeanor charges herself, it would never happen to her.
How do you feel about being charged with a crime?
What a rookie. How do you feel about being charged with the crime? I'm playing. Maybe it was Jane and Fisher. I think it was the name of that reporter. I'm just kidding. That she would have been perfectly fine if he would have just got her the medical help, even with the cops accusing him. If everything would have just gone under the rug, he wouldn't bring this attention to himself. Because as Priya Chaudhary was saying, this accusation, this whole case, everything gets you canceled, as she put it, but it costs you long term. We all have skeletons in our closet which we want
Exactly.
under the rug and kept private and kept secret. Nobody is perfect. Now, not everyone is doing criminal activity or anything, but still, we all have things that people's perceptions of us would change if they knew about our ex relationships. And I'm so on the side of Jonathan Majors, especially knowing what I know about the history of the New York Police Department. She Dresme says what's up. Dre says hi also. Did I read this? The media is doing the best to destroy him. They aren't mentioning any of the sketchy shit he said. Look. Variety and Rolling Stone. Those two are just the double tag team of doom. The way that they're trying to hurt this man. If all you've been reading was those, then you got a very weird perception of who Jonathan Majors is. If there's only 16 witnesses showing up, well, wasn't there like 40 people who were anonymous in the Rolling Stone hit piece? Where are those 40? I wonder if that Tim Nicolai, if that A.B. Allen guy who tweeted on Twitter on March 26th, the day after, Jonathan's really bad. We've been knowing this. I wonder if those people will be at court. Go stand on it, everybody. But no, they won't.
You don't think they'll show up?
I got my doubts, Even if the city of New York pays for their travel, just like they're doing with our friend Stephanie over here, even if they do that, I don't think they have it in them. There's no accountability for lying, and it's really sad. Will the police tell her what to say about her neck, be called to testify? Those police, that's a whole separate case. You're right. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, because a lot of people just look at the woman who's lying. I'm looking at the police big time. She's British. She's supposed to 999. Good one. It was a violation of it.
999? Is
You didn't know
that's
that? It's a different
oh,
number over there.
so instead of 911 it's 999.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So who's got it better, us or them? Okay. No, let's really seriously, let's unpack this one. If you're like in pain, you got to dial the number. At least your finger's already on 9, so you just got to have 2 additional presses. But like
That's true.
also, the operators are going to be overwhelmed with pocket dials and things like that. Also, right? 999. I would go with 999. Sounds like you're stuttering. When someone says 911, it's just a different sound. 911 it is.
Well, as soon as I leave this stream, I'm going to find them. I've got too many folders on here, and I know I have probably put it in a folder that I had no business putting it in.
It was a violation of his rights when she grabbed his phone. Is that assault and robbery? Yes. I mean, it was attempted at least. So what's the robbery was attempted? Hey, King's Portal. Hey, King's Portal, look. That star that you asked, that star that right there, that's yours. You're the reason this is up there. Everybody watch my stream from Saturday to understand what I'm talking about. You don't even got to know where. You just got to go on the stream and go to the beginning of the stream where the star is not there, and then go to the end where it's there. It's all because of King's Portal. He says, what's up? Is he guilty or what? Is it still going on? It's finally coming to a closing. The trial has begun. No more delays. It's been a tedious long time. AK Values, great job tonight. You have a new subscriber. I don't know if that's if that's to me or if that's to you, Pam, because we've both been doing, if I say so myself, we've both been doing a great job. We both have our videos up where we cover this with logic, and we talk about priors because we've been in the know of this case since March 25, and both of us have been covering it. So don't just come to the Chillmonger channel if you mean just me. Go to Pam Entertainment TV as well for the lovely coverage. And then at the end of her video, she says, blah, blah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, the toilets flush backwards, Pam. You're wrong. On the southern hemisphere, it spiral the wrong way. It's not an east-west thing.
What do you mean the toilets flush backwards?
In England, he was trying to make it sound like it's a different place where the toilets flush backwards.
Oh.
Remember the Australian episode of The Simpsons? Remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
It's not a knife. Yeah, it's a knife. I'll see.
No, I don't. I think there was a period of time that I didn't watch The Simpsons, so I sorry. But I hear that they predict a lot of stuff that's going on.
Shoot, they sure do. It's a joke, chill, that Aussie. What more do we want to add to this for this day one coverage? Because it's all about the jury. To me, that's like the focus of today, as well as what they're allowed to know, what they're not allowed to know. I think a big news story, which is going swept under the rug, is that they are told not to go on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's going to happen.
Well, we don't know what they walked in there before he gave them that instruction in the first place. We don't know if they have watched anything or read anything or anything like that. So they may have seen coverage of this months ago.
They're supposed to not have seen it, but yeah, and they'll select the guys with the least amount of knowledge. And we know it's going to lean towards women if it's up to the district attorney, if it will lean towards white women also. Sort of that fresh out of college mentality where we got to believe all women, which I think you should believe. You should listen. You should hear out the women, and you should you can even have a bias towards these women and be like going into this as, I can't wait to hear the right piece of evidence where I can tell myself I am putting a man to jail for doing the wrong thing. You can even do that. But the evidence that exists right now is very
you believe, and then you do an investigation. You believe, and then you do an investigation. And then once you do an investigation, then it gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, we need to figure out what's going on and stuff like that. But you have an investigation. It needs to be, because again, it's for the defendant. That's the person. The prosecution has the burden of proof. So
Yeah.
you have to do your due diligence. It becomes about the defendant. The victim is important, but the case and the trial is about the defendant.
As they say over on Deadline, nobody is the victim on voir dire, the judge proclaimed. That was good news to hear, that this woman isn't allowed to be called the victim. Let me big it up, maximize it so you know what I'm talking about. That quote there, up there, that nobody's the victim. That's going to be very much in favor of Jonathan Majors. Remember that she's also, she was countersued and being charged with stuff from the cops. So that's a great add-on from what I read on Deadline. They updated it, but there was not that. There was something else I wanted to find before we go. Judge Gaffey also deferred a ruling on whether jurors will get to hear about Stephanie McMahon's arrest in October based on a cross-complaint filed by Majors that she attacked him. He says, last month, the DA's office made it clear they would decline to charge her. On Wednesday in court, the prosecutor, Kelly Galloway, and I don't care if it says Kelly Galloway, the district attorney's office is Alvin Bragg. And I don't care how she's new, she's a rookie, and I don't care if she's the one with all of her name is all over the papers. It is the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, not the assistant district attorney who I have smoke for.
He'll probably be there. He'll probably come in and make an appearance to see what's going on. He'll probably make an appearance.
I hope he gets booed by the same guy who said good luck to Jonathan when Jonathan was stepping in. So it says, Kelly says, this was not quid pro quo in exchange for Stephanie's expected testimony against Majors. Galloway noted that Stephanie had already been cooperating with the prosecutors and was not notified of the DA's decision to forgo charges against her until after she turned herself into the NYPD in October. That's bull. That's actually a lie. She knew that she wasn't going to be pursued and she wasn't going to be charged by or prosecuted, I should say. She knew the charges were coming, but she knew that the DA wasn't going to try anything funny. So that's just a straight up ugly lie.
They're saying that she didn't know? Is that what that is? Because I thought they were that wasn't her and her attorney negotiating her release back in or a possible release back in September? Did I read that? I'll have to go back and check. I thought I read something like that in the Insider.
Been cooperating with prosecutors and was not notified of the district attorney's decision to forego charges against her until after she turned herself in to the NYPD in October. Bull. We've been knowing, and it's been in articles, that they had no interest in pursuing the charges and that they would in fact forego the charges. I read these articles. I've seen the quotes. So what? She was not notified? Doesn't matter. She can Google her name and figure it out. Like, don't tell me she was not notified. It's so empty. Maybe it's a wordplay that, yes, not once did Alvin Bragg pick up the phone and say, notifying her about how he's going to forego the charges. That's probably what it was, but it's understood. A lawyer for Majors, Priya Chaudhry, argued that her arrest, which followed the cross complaint this summer and a police investigation into a British national's alleged actions on the night of March 25, is fair game for a jury, even if the DA's office seemed disinclined to pursue the accuser, which I agree. It's fair game to the jury to know that she was being charged. Also, because you guys are the ones, the prosecutors are the ones going and trying to make it seem like, look, before 11 o'clock, there's some things that are relevant to this case. All right, we're opening that up to what happened before 11 o'clock. Jonathan got scratched on his face before 11. Scratches on his arms before 11. During that police body cam footage, when he's telling the cops about the injuries that's on him, well, here's the footage of it, and here's the after effects of that. Some cops at other precincts, not the ones who were there on site, but some other cops decided that what he had done to him was criminal, was worthy of charges. Like, it's so stupid, so disingenuous. Maybe they have to try because that's what they do. It's a sport to them. But this is a man's livelihood. And he's a pretty important man. He's going to be representing a lot of black folk in many movies to come to become a positive role model. He's going to play some low roles that we're not going to be too proud of. There's going to be some race swap roles like when he's playing Kang, but there's going to be the good roles also. And he's a talented enough actor to be worthy of leading films with big budgets. And that's what Alvin Bragg is chopping down. There's a huge representation from an industry known as Hollywood, which reaches millions, maybe even 1 billion people watch the Hollywood film genre. Like, it's a lot of people who could be affected by Jonathan Majors for the years to come. If we look at how some actors like Leonardo DiCaprio is in his prime of acting. It's not like he lost his skill. And dude is, what, 50 years old right now? No, 40? How old's Leo?
Leo's in his late 40s, I thought.
Leo's in his late 40s, and he's got another couple decades left. That could be Jonathan, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. It could, it is. But we'll see. It's first day. The jury selection is who they choose on the jury, which is always interesting to me.
Okay, Chaudhry now. She says, despite the DA's witness list, this case is really about the credibility of one person. Yeah, it's Stephanie. At one point during the back and forth over her arrest, the judge Gaffey stated, "Can we all agree that this whole situation is very unusual?" Yo, how do you read that? That sounds pretty good.
She's the one that you have to believe. She's the one who's got to tell that story to where it makes sense.
I read that. Hey, can we all agree this is pretty unusual? It is very unusual, yeah. That's because a trial like this.
The judge said that. He was like, this is a misdemeanor case.
You can't be but then call abuse. I'm sorry, but it's true. Again, you're doing something I'm not doing. King is focusing on the woman and her, I don't know, wrongness and her infidelity and her, her need to make money and stuff. That's not, while it's true, it's also not my focus. I'm looking at the system and the judge, the DA, and everyone. So far, when it comes to concealing the privacy of Jonathan Majors, Michael Gaffey is doing a better job. I hope that he is the guy who's going to be here all week long and it doesn't return to Judge Rachel Pauly. I hope it is Michael Gaffey all the way through.
I think so. I think once he's seated, I think he's the judge. He's the judge.
They wouldn't give this to him if he has like a planned vacation in tomorrow. Like, that's not what they would do.
Yeah.
Just during jury selection for the voir dire. Voir dire. Sounds French.
I think it is.
Let's read a couple more of these. If Jonathan Majors is found innocent after this case is over, we have to talk about how a victim acts. Yeah. If Jonathan Majors is found innocent, I'm not going to go on YouTubers and leave comments, but I'm going to look sideways at a lot of these YouTube channels. I hope a lot of them like admit that they're wrong and like talk about the systemic issue and to smarten up their audience to what happens in New York City, how the police over-police people who've got melanin in their skins, or everyone has melanin in their skin, but you know what I mean? Darker people, like that's just a thing that happens and we need to wise up on it. Like it's not going to hurt you for like a second to talk about a cause. Every Oscar speech, Leonardo DiCaprio, he won his Oscar. He was talking about his cause, which was like rainforests or what was it? I already forgot what it was, but it sounded really nice. Guys, in your videos, you can mention causes. It's fine. Look, free Palestine. Everyone, Gaza is under attack right now. Is systemic oppression from the Israeli occupation forces. It's been longer than what's happened in October. It's been a long time, and it's unfair. Free Palestine. See how easy that was? Let's get back to the case right now with Jonathan Majors. Okay, Pam, how do you feel about it? Like, it's not hard for those YouTubers who were wrong about this case, talk about how they were wrong, apologize for it, and then draw attention to what Jonathan went through. Just like what Johnny Depp went through. Amber Heard's lies, which she was lying on the stand. It's amazing and was all on TV. it's okay for you YouTubers who are definitely not watching me right now. I don't think one of the 25 people watching in the live stream now are YouTubers, except for him. He's a YouTuber, actually. I don't think that they're watching right now. I'm just saying. What's your take on this, Pam? I want you to like fire up on YouTubers you hate. That's all I want. Get on the microphone, talk about him, her, and everyone.
Well, this is what I would say. I I like to watch the YouTubers that are giving the information factually and coming to a conclusion or whatever from the information that you have. Once you decide that it's this or it's that, and not look at all the gray areas that's going on in here, uh, that's it. I would just hope that you follow a case and follow these things and just look for the information. Because, like I said, however it pans out, I know that I gave everybody the information as I had it and was as truthful as possible about everything I had and dissected the information from uh, the publications and whoever gave it out or whatever. But I just think it's just, just I don't like the vitriol. It's almost like you have to come up on one side or the other. And if you don't take a side, then there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
I'm just critically, I just want to see what's going on. Give me the information and then allow for me to make a decision instead of dropping over here and saying, oh well, it's he's guilty or he's not guilty or he's this, he's that. I don't know. I just know what the information gives me and I make an opinion on what I see. Some things don't make sense to me. That like I said, you remember when I first was we were introduced and talking, you asked me that question. It was that first text that made me start to think, because when the story first came out, it made you think that everything was happening in this little window of time. And now we see that this is a whole thing that has drawn out, and what was said in the beginning doesn't even match what's happening now.
This
Because
little text here.
yeah, that because everybody focused on those big blurbs of text. You remember I said there's something about that first text that's chaos. When you start doing that's chaos. I want to see what's going on up towards the top, because
Yeah.
what's coming down at the bottom didn't interest me, only because I knew he was in jail. He was in jail at that time when she was sending those texts. He was in jail. He didn't get out to what, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock that night. He was in jail. You knew he was in jail. So you're writing these texts to somebody that can't see those texts. And then I learned later, didn't she have his phone? Who are you texting when you have their phone? Or what? Or was that something different? I'm confused. That's what made me start thinking, what's going on? This doesn't make any sense. Then he called the police. Who is putting hands, feet, toes, knees, and chest on somebody and then decide that they're going to call the police? That don't make any sense. Hands, knees, fists, toes, and chest,
Head and
you're
shoulders.
gone.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're gone. Why are you calling the police? Then we find out, oh, you're passed out in the closet. See, we didn't know all of this in the first. Only thing we knew was hands, knees, feet, toes, and then you put your hands around it.
Yeah.
And that just sent everybody in a tizzy. What are you doing? 6 foot, such and such, putting your hands around somebody's neck. Then we find out, oh, that's a lie. Who's doing the lying? Now that's a problem. Oh, it's the police that said that. The police are telling 19 times. She's saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Can you imagine how many times it takes to say, I don't know 19 times? I
You
don't
were
know, I don't
fishing.
know, I don't
The
know.
police were definitely looking to get a response that they were looking for, and they did eventually get one, even though it's been dropped. Even though I don't even think the jury, because the jury don't really know anything. That's the point of why they're the jury. I don't even think they're gonna know that the strangulation charges were part of it, and that was the headlines that besmirched his name in front. And every talent agency and commercial who dropped him, every new film, they were doing that off of. Well, if the police say that he's strangled, then you can't just make something up like that, Maybe so they got to get rid of him. That's what hurt him the most initially, all the relationships that were dropped. And I hope that they all fire back up and rekindle even with the 8 months of hell that we just experienced. I hope that after this, they can figure it out. His Magazine Dreams movie from Disney, which doesn't have a release date yet, will be released next year. He will be Oscar nominated or worthy of nomination. He'll be after a good performance of this bodybuilder type guy who can act, which is kind of new. Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler might be the only other time we got to see something like that. Zac Efron in the new Iron Claw movie that's coming out is another kind of like big bulky guy who's going to lead a movie. There's a very few times where these bulky guys are Oscar worthy. I'm not talking about no action Schwarzenegger. Let me choose somebody more common, more Jason Statham. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about one of those where he gives performances and he feels low. He makes you cry. Jonathan Majors is going to bring that with Magazine Dreams. I'll be in the movie theaters to see it.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I can't make promises. I think. And and that's from Stallone. Okay, I got you, Nerdy Bruce. Stallone. Yeah, I think that's the bit.
And that's just it. You know, like I said, this whole case, even with what's going on in regards to the whole incident, but just the side stuff outside of it, because it's just like your PR team drops you when you need them the most. Could you get a refund? Where is that? That's the time you need them, even if they didn't work for 2 weeks. That's the time you need them. You paid all that money and they dropped you like a hot potato. I could see the management company, because they're the management company, but your PR companies have represented liars, thieves, murderers, and con artists and scammers and all kinds of stuff like that. And
Ezra Miller and Harvey Weinstein and who else is
they've represented a lot of different people, and it's just amazing to see that. It's just amazing to see how they dropped him so quickly that it made their head spin. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I get. Hold up.
Loki still came out. Marvel has him on the back burner. I think. Okay, look, with Marvel, respect to them for not overreacting, and they kept him around. I hope so, but my Magic 8 Ball says highly unlikely. No, if they were going to do something, they'd have done it again. His PR is what I find hurt him the most. I think so, yeah. Rogue says no notification again. I don't know what to do. Watch the live stream on playback because we're just about done here. What's Pam looking for, though? I guess we're done here then.
Yeah, we just when I find it, I'm going to post it.
Okay, look out for us. Pam Entertainment TV is the place to be to see more of She. And look, hey, let me show some love to the Nerdy Brew. He's got a YouTube channel also, and he's popping in here, and I appreciate him. I appreciate the Basco scenario as well. Rogue Comics, who says, man, the Nerdy Brew. Who else is in the building? What's going on, Marvelise D? Hello, hello. Recast T'Challa. It is always T'Challa time in this place. Yes, look, it's always T'Challa time. That's from my comic book review. Hey, I'm a comic book YouTuber. If you guys know me for this Jonathan Major stuff, I prefer talking about superheroes, a lot of more entertainment type stuff in the superhero field, as well as Star Wars, which kind of counts. I'll review the Fast and Furious franchise. I love that. I'm in, like, that's my bread and butter. Let me look around for these comic books. Boom. Boom. Always supporting, always reading the champions, always reading. Where's my static? Showing off. This is what I'm about. If you come on this channel, you should be looking at static. You could be, which I'm gonna have to review with the Black Comic Lords. That's what I'm about. So after this week, while this is, and definitely subscribe for the Jonathan Majors. It's gonna be very heavy. I plan to do another live stream tomorrow, God willing. I don't really know what happens tomorrow. This was just on the seat, flying by the seat of my pants. Recast T'Challa. Yes, I'm gonna be doing more. Yeah. William in the building. He says Pam got 4 TBS of data to come through. You got 4 terabytes, really? Is that right?
Hold up. Where'd it go? I got something.
It's 5 terabytes. That's what's keeping her.
Yeah.
And thank you for the money. Thank you for the.
Everybody's got a price.
Appreciate it, William. Appreciate it. And if you guys want to join channel memberships, it only costs this much to become a member of the Chillmonger YouTube channel, where right after Pam opens up what she's about to open up, I'm going to start talking Jamie Foxx and P. Diddy.
All
Because
right.
I haven't given my opinion yet.
Let's see. Would it let me share my screen?
Okay,
Let's
pull it up and
see.
I'll share the screen. Well said, Chillmonger. Well said. Thanks, JG. More than the comic stuff, the real world pissed me off. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know if you can see that, but this is her. This is it. You see right here on the bottom, she signed it at 5/9/23 at 9:15 a.m. Sorry.
She was there.
Yes.
That means that she was there on May 9th. That she
Yes.
and we know, according to the insider article that they interviewed with Priya Chaudhry, we know that she took his things, flew off to jolly old England, and didn't return until 5 days with his with some of his items. Right, it was 5 days that she was gone for. She comes back to England. So while she's going back and forth, once the arrest was initiated, the probable cause for arrest, it was like, oh, she hasn't been in America. She's not here in the country. So I think, yeah, she is definitely a fugitive, as I called it. So yeah, she had to be there to sign it. Now, wait, Pam. Sometimes you can use like a stylus and you can do a signature from a distance. They have the technology. Is it possible that she just did that and they registered it? No.
All I know is it was signed not even an hour before he went to court. That they went to court virtually that day. So
what time would it have been? Because they do these court dates in the morning, but in England, the morning is what, 3? If it's 9 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock over there. Yeah, no, it's a headache. But thank you for showing that. We'll leave you guys on that. To everyone watching on the playback, thumbs up and subscribe. I'm gonna have a video up tomorrow because I'm sure something's gonna happen. Thank you. Later.
bye.